There's a heat wave coming over the next few days, and I wanted to get at least one session out in the open before it gets too hot. I came at around 12, so it was a good time to produce some vitamin D naturally, and I wanted to get some sprints in. I had planned to do sled pushes, but I wanted to also see if sprinting was something I could do despite the little annoyance that I feel at the back of my knee where the bicep femoris attaches into the back of the knee. And unfortunately, I noticed that it gives me a bit of an annoyance. So I did a few sets of sprints. These were I wasn't really counting the measuring distance. I was going for about 10 strides. I wasn't going to be pushing all out anyways because I had not done sprints in a while, at least the very specific variation of actually sprinting outside. What I'm doing is sled pushes, which I think they replicate they are in the same line of specificity, but they're not exactly the same. There is a lot of power generation, but there probably isn't that component of forceful extension at end ranges of motion, especially of the posterior chain. And in between, I was doing some work for the handstand. I think that these two that I recorded were looking kind of good. I was able to maintain a decent line. The tacks were average, I'd say, but I was keeping it for a good length of time, and overall, I'm satisfied with those. This session, the whole thing, I spent outside. I went to the playground just around there, and I was doing a few sets of pull-ups. So the lower body part of the session was taken care of by the sprinting work and also the warming up drills that I was doing for jumping. And upper body, I was doing mostly handstands in the pushing category, so it was mostly an isometric kind of workout when it comes to pushing, and a couple of variations for the pull-up here. I was doing the normal pull-ups, and I was going for also a neutral grip while I was alternating pulling myself up to one side and then to the other. I don't really like to keep my legs bent and crossed, but this is the space that I had available, and it was a different thing. Also, it was in the shade. It was getting really hot at that point, so I just prefer to do it down there. It was a fun session, and it's good to be outside actually. So I'm satisfied with the way it went. Ciao.